All right, everybody, welcome to Wrestling with Reality. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. I'm John, and of course, joining me as always is my partner, Mr. Richie Reardon. Richie, what is up, my friend?
What's up, dude? I'm actually excited for tonight, man. AJ Styles is one of my favorites of all time, so I'm glad to be breaking down his legendary career with you. And things are cooling down here in Arizona, man, so it's my relaxing time of the year. So how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing real good. What's the weather like out there? What's the temperatures?
It's in the 70s right now, so we're about to dip in the perfect weather here. And it's always around Halloween that this shit gets really good out here. So if you've never been in Arizona, man, check it out around this time. You cannot beat the weather.
I've been there once and loved it, of course. I've told you that story a bunch of times, but always loved it. When's the best months? Is this the best months in Arizona where it's not 9 million degrees?
Yeah, I would say October to probably March is the best time in Arizona.
Should I even ask when the worst time is?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like fucking May, June, July, August, September. It's so brutal. 120 degrees when you're in an attic or you're on a roof. It's 140, 150 degrees. So. You know, I mean, I put my thermometer all the time on the areas that I'm at, and it's ridiculous weather. So
how do you not
it's burning hot, dude? It's bad. If you don't drink water, it gets serious real quick. We had a HVAC technician last year, matter of fact, in Sun City. He was at a couple old people's house changing their AC unit out, and he ended up passing away in their attic. What? Nobody knew for like 2 days.
He was up there roasting for 2 days.
2 days. 2 days, he got heat stroke and passed out and never woke up.
Oh my God, that's terrible, bro.
It was horrible. But it does happen.
I mean, I've been in the Middle East where it's crazy, but I was a young guy. You know, I couldn't imagine doing that anymore and getting up in those places like that, man. You know, like that heat all the time.
It's fucking brutal, man. If you're not smart about it, and if you don't do it in like 10-minute intervals and you know, get yourself down and drink water and stuff like that. I'll tell you, I had a close. I know this is a wrestling show. I'm sorry, but
no, we're
just I had a close
life.
call this. Yeah, I had a close call this last summer. Probably, I'd say the end, like probably 2 months ago. I had to go up and change the unit up on our roof of our warehouse, and I was up there and stayed up there a little bit too long. Came down. I had to go straight to the bathroom, and you know, you and I were laughing before we started the show about going to the bathroom and hosing down and stuff like that. I literally had to strip down and fucking chill my body out.
Wow.
I was gonna pass out, dude. Like it was that bad, you
Were
know.
you just sweating fucking buckets out?
It was beyond it. So when out here, when you stop sweating, that's when you know you're in the danger zone and
Yeah.
it's time to get the fuck inside and cool down. My buddy, my coworker came out because I got my clothes back on and I started to finally start going down and I felt like it was going too fast. Because if you go too fast, you'll have a seizure if you cool yourself
Okay.
down too fast. And I dumped ice on me, which was a stupid decision. So I got in my truck and decided I was going to go get some Gatorade at the grocery store. And I didn't even remember my friend getting in the passenger seat. I just remember like getting to the store, grabbing a drink, and chugging it down. You know, it was brutal.
Getting those
Fucking brutal.
electrolytes back up.
Oh man, take a salt tablet, like King of the Hill says.
Oh God. Have you watched it since the reboot?
I have, man. I really enjoyed it. It's gotten a lot of hate. I enjoyed it.
I watched one episode of it. It was great, man. I got to go back to
I
it.
loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was just fucking awesome, man. I don't know. I can't believe it's getting any hate.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky's in the house, by the way, man. I got to know Ricky a little bit. We talked a lot after I had told him about my diverticulitis and stuff like that. Ricky's a good dude, man. So if y'all get to know him, Ricky's a great guy. Good to see you out here this week.
Absolutely. There's a little glitch on the Facebook. So if somebody's on Facebook tonight, like I'm sorry, it's nothing I can do about it. It's like I can't see the links pop up, so I had to share it a weird way, so it doesn't get out on Facebook very well. Don't blame me. I'm sorry. So nothing I can do. Facebook's just glitchy as hell. So hopefully
We'd like y'all to hop on the YouTube anyways. We're trying to grow
monetize.
that. So if you're watching it on Facebook, we'd appreciate you hopping on YouTube. We don't want to lose you on Facebook, so if you're gonna watch it on there, that's fine. But we definitely would benefit more as a show if you'd watch it on YouTube.
We're just like within just close proximity to getting monetized over there. So if you want to check out our channel on YouTube, we would really prefer it because Facebook even deletes the live streams after like a month now. It's just ridiculous. Joey, hold on. I'll send you a link over. I'll get to our thing right now.
Joey said blame Natalia.
Yeah, you always got to blame Natty right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricky, if you want to hop on YouTube, man, it does help us out a little bit more. John just shared the link on the chat there. So if you want to go ahead and click on that link, we would appreciate it. If you can only watch it on Facebook for some reason, we understand that too. We would rather have you. So
yeah, Facebook's going to be kind of like our backup medium going into 2026. We're hoping
they've really fucked us on a lot of videos. So we're kind of
beyond
kind of sour towards Mr. Zucker.
Yeah, they're going to be like our backup engine. It's a great way to share it out and stuff, but I don't know. I'd prefer to try to get it over to YouTube. So if you guys can like and follow the page on YouTube as well, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell and notification. We just really want to get monetized over there. So hopefully we can get that in the next year. So maybe sure. Less, that's kind of the goal. So if you can follow on the YouTube, that would be greatly appreciated. And we're going to start bringing it to TikTok, hopefully in 2026 too, and doing some stuff on TikTok next year.
Might be some MMA shit coming down the pipeline too.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in store in 2026. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to some fun things that we're going to be doing next year. But tonight's got a great
we're going to put the gas pedal down a little bit. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, tonight's topic, though, man, is going to be a fun one. AJ Styles is going to be our main course tonight, our main event, so to speak. And, I know sometimes we don't always spend as much on the main event, but, we kind of just pick one certain topic. And whether it goes on for a long time or we talk about it for just a short time, we just kind of let it go each show where it takes us and what you guys want to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about that's going on in the mainstream world right now. So first off, I got to hit on this just disgraceful numbers last week from AEW Dynamite. Remember they ran on Tuesday against the NXT versus TNA Invasion show that they were doing.
Did they even draw close to it?
Bro, they drew like their all-time lowest ever. Let me get the ratings from last week so I can give you an actual number. This is some of the most abysmal shit I think they've done in just fucking ages. So there's this new thing with the Nielsen ratings. Have you seen this, that they've changed it all up now?
No. What is it?
So there's supposed to be a more accurate measure of the Nielsen ratings now, where they changed their policies around because it was overinflated, basically, is what people were kind of saying. So with the Nielsen ratings, they noticed a drop off in a lot of the cable shows that are out there. Hey, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it,
There
my
you
friend.
go. Thank you, brother. Appreciate
Any
that.
any any outlet you ever want to go on, Ricky, is cool, man. But if
Yep.
you want to, if YouTube's good for you, great, man. If not, Facebook's great too. But so the Nielsen ratings change all around, and they start kind of being more strict about it now, Richie. So they see a dip in the numbers. I think the first week of it, NXT did maybe like, I don't know, like less than 100,000, or something difference from the week before. But AEW had dropped to their all-time lowest mark at that point, and people were saying, "Oh, it's the Nielsen stuff. It's different now." Well, I think you could see that their audience was either really fucking fabricated or just completely dead and just doesn't give a shit. They had done about 425,000 a couple weeks ago. That's how low it got for them. So when they moved over to Tuesday last week and they did this NXT versus TNA showdown against Dynamite type of thing, so NXT on the CW averaged their viewers for the week was 625,000 viewers with a 0.12 rating in their key demographic. AEW did 321,000 people with a 0.07 rating in their key demographic, 18 to
Jeez.
49.
Knocking it out of the park there, buddy.
Bro, that's like fucking Rampage numbers, or Collision or whatever the hell they call it. My God, man.
That's brutal. And Ricky, I appreciate the kind words, man. We're trying. We've been at it for a while, and we're like we said, man. 2026 is our year. We're gonna get dedicated. And,
yes.
John and I have a goal in mind of where we want to take this thing, and so we hope y'all are enjoying the ride, and we want to make you guys part of it too. So there's a lot more to come. So I appreciate that. But yeah, dude, AEW
321, bro.
They're nowhere near the beginning stages of where they used to be. I mean, when I watched it in the beginning, man, it was the closest thing to WCW in comparison to actually combating WWE,
Yeah.
And nobody came close since. But like we always say, it always goes back to when Cody Rhodes left. It was not a good look for the company, and once the direction left, I mean, the direction left. That's just it.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody Rhodes was AEW. Believe it or not. I mean, you can see the relevance in that when you watch Monday Night Raw and he's tearing the house down and doing his best work. AEW is just absent-minded and regurgitated shit every week that you can't even follow. I mean, it's horrible. And that's the shitty part of it, Ricky, is Kenny Omega and Darby Allin are my two favorites on there. I hate to see them go down with the ship. I would love to see Kenny Omega transition over to WWE, but I don't see his value being worth a shit anymore. I don't see, MJF's value being as high anymore, utilized on WWE programming because they have driven their name in the dirt over there. Karrion Kross, his wife, Scarlett, just did an interview where wherever they end up next is going to be their forever home.
Mm-hmm.
If they go to fucking AEW, that's going to be a short-lived thing because I don't think AEW is going to be in business past. I give it 5 years. 5 years they'll be out of business.
As long as Chad's ponying up more money and allowing Tony to do it, he's going to keep doing it forever, bro.
His daddy's going to get tired of fronting that bill, dude, for sure.
Yeah, Joe just said, Joey, that he's going to be on his last contract, I guess, and this is probably going to be it for him.
How fucking old is Joe? Is he in his late 40s?
He's in his 40s, bro. He's got to be in his early to mid 40s right about now. So, yeah, he should be easily in his. I'd say less than 45. Let's see what his age is. He is 1979. Jeez, yeah. So he's 46 years old.
Yeah, he's his mid 40s right there, man.
Yeah.
It's not this is a young man's game to be in, you know what I mean? So
he hasn't really done much, I don't think, over there recently.
Was he an AEW champion at any point?
He was for a period of time. I think he's the one that took the belt off of MJF at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was the one that took the belt off MJF.
He's been a champion in almost every promotion that he's been in. So
he never won the WWE title, did he?
He was close.
He had a bunch of
program
matches
with AJ Styles.
Yeah, I think he had didn't he have a program with Lesnar too?
I believe so.
Maybe Reigns
so. It was horrible, but it was horrible.
Maybe Lesnar and Reigns too. He never won the big one there. He won the NXT title, but that's the NXT title.
I think Joe just didn't have the look for WWE. Like they have this like cookie cutter mold of who they're gonna make the top guy, you're either really, really fit and skinny or you're really, really big and huge, and Joe just wasn't that, man. He was,
Are you a
is what
big
he
fan of
is.
Joe?
There's been parts of his career where I've been a fan of him. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan. I would say that, I don't change the channel when he's wrestling, if that makes any sense. Like, he's not my favorite thing to go, oh my God, if I don't see Samoa Joe tonight, I'm not fucking watching. Like, so Samoa Joe to me, I could take him or leave him. What about you?
I've never been a huge fan. I've never been against him or anything like that. I mean, his look is the worst. I just got to say
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, he's a ball of
just
shit, dude. He's a
those
meat wad.
fucking those shorts that look like somebody colored on them on one side with a green highlighter or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
They look it looks terrible. But the presentation of him as a badass is always great. Like he always comes across as a badass out there.
Yeah, he does.
And he is a very intimidating personality and stuff. For people. So
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the things he does, but I've never been a huge guy for him.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's dumbass doesn't know how to build a story. That's a fact. They had a huge
That's
chance with FDR versus the Elite, but the Elite wanted to be bitches. No, not the Elite. Come on. They're not bitches ever, Ricky.
they're the
Samoa
biggest
Joe and
bitches.
CM Punk had some of the best 3-match series ever on Ring of Honor many moons ago. If you can watch those matches, I highly recommend them.
Oh
I've heard
yeah.
that. I've never seen them, though.
You've never seen the Samoa Joe CM
Nope.
Punk feud?
Nope.
Oh my God, Johnny! I got a DVD. I'm gonna send you, man. It's got it all
Okay.
on it.
Could be a good watch along to do in the future, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's an incredible. Ricky's right there, man. That's an incredible one to watch. So
Yeah, well, maybe in a few weeks we can do it. I know we don't do a lot of watch alongs, but maybe we'll do a watch along one day to that one because
sure,
I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's incredible. It's
I don't think I've
incredible.
ever seen it, but I know, a lot of their old school time in Ring of Honor is stuff like with Danielson and, all those. Nigel McGuinness, I think, was another one over there that people love. But Ring of Honor, man, in their time, they developed some big stars, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Ring of Honor. It's crazy when you look at the parallels. Like, TNA's roster obviously had it, because all their guys are featured on WWE programming and have been for the better part of the last 8 years, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
They've been on the top of WWE programming. You got AJ Styles, all these different guys. There's a few that should have been over there. I feel like Frankie Kazarian, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I think he should have. He was WWE caliber, in my opinion. And I think Christopher Daniels, another one, should have been over there as well. Man, it's crazy because I think TNA, had they just had the right proper management. What's up, Rand? I was hoping
Get
you were
the
showing
muffins,
up tonight,
Devon.
Get the muffins,
Rand is
Devon.
here.
And that's another thing I want to talk about before we get going on the AJ Styles thing. So remind me after this. But
yeah, let's hit on that next, actually.
Where I'm going with this is like TNA had the roster. Their management was just dog shit. And I think that TNA could have been competition for WWE had they just did it at the right time. They pulled the trigger way too soon.
So. Jared admits it too. I've heard him admit it a bunch of times. Like, he wasn't all in favor of it, and it was Dixie Carter and her family and their money they were sinking into it, really trying to push it. So, yeah. Let's get into Devon. One of Rand's favorites here for a second. But TNA did their was it Bound for Glory this last week?
Glory.
Boy, they had a packed fucking house, bro. Did they not?
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. That was probably one of the best TNA shows I've seen in a very, very long time. Now, that's not saying much.
Mm-hmm.
But, I dogged on this match so hard when they fucking announced it. I was like, there is no fucking way Devon Dudley is showing up and performing. Dude, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I stand corrected. That match was really, really good and entertaining and had a fucking solid end. So kudos to them. I don't like Bubba Ray Dudley at all. I think he's a fucking pompous ass. I don't like his radio show. I don't like any of that shit. But it was good to see them go against the Hardy Boys again, I got to say.
You don't like Uncle Bubba or Uncle Bully?
I don't. I think he is a bully. Like, I don't think that's just a gimmick. I think he's a douchebag.
You think he's the type of dude, if you sock him in the fucking face back when he melts off and just being a bully one day, that he backs down, or you think he goes back at it?
I don't. If there's cameras rolling, absolutely he goes back at it. But if there's not, and he's not in front of a crowd, I think he'd probably be busted in the nose and be a mama's boy.
I think his shit is the biggest act in the world too, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Speaking of AJ's match with Cena this past weekend brought some tears to my eyes. Yeah, we'll cover that in just a second, Ricky. We're going to hit on Crown Jewel in just a minute for sure. And we're going to definitely talk about that match because we were conversing about it a little bit before. But yeah, going back to Bound for Glory, from what I saw, it was a pretty entertaining card. I know there was some like the finishes people didn't like or something. They didn't like the X Division finish. They didn't like what was the other one with Kazarian and Nemeth both winning the title shot at the same time. It was kind of convoluted. I get that, I don't doubt that.
They're trying to be different.
Yeah, they're trying to play storylines in and stuff. It is what it is, Like I get it. Some things get over, some things don't. But the Hardys and them, man, I'm with you. They tore the house down,
dude. Yeah. They tore it down.
Yeah, you got to give people credit, man. They did what they were supposed to do. And listen, Matt walks like he's crippled when he gets to the ring, but when he gets in there, he can go, man. And Jeff has just destroyed his body through the years. Devon had a career-ending
match
injury.
You could tell was fucking muscle memory, dude. Like they just were. When you have a really good dance partner, I mean, even if you're an old person, you can still rock the shit out of a place. So. These two were made for each other from the get-go, and seeing Jeff Hardy, I'll tell you what, dude, one of the treats in wrestling right now for me personally, just because of our history and stuff like that, mental health and all that, is to see him succeeding and staying clean and doing well. And to hear, and I don't know if y'all are a believer out there. If you're not, that's
I heard this about him with Christianity.
But when he confessed that he was born again Christian through Jesus Christ and stuff like that, you want to talk about tears, dude. I was in tears when I watched that. So that was heavy, dude. That was real heavy.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that too. As a fellow Christian, it's nice to see that, he is turning his life over and doing it in a good way now. Hopefully.
We've both ran into that same wall. So when you see one of your heroes do the same thing and confess that, the same thing that gave us the saving grace and our demons and stuff like that, dude. What a beautiful fucking moment,
Jeff just looks like a good dude, man, too, in real life. Yes, he has.
I think he just likes to have too much of a good time sometimes.
He's a party animal, man. He likes to have fun.
He's chasing the thrill.
He likes to ride his motorbikes. He likes to do crazy shit. He likes his music. I got to say this about him. I'll put him over all day for his wrestling, but his singing is fucking horrible.
I think there was only one song that I liked, and it was his TNA entrance song. That Modest one. That's the only song I've ever liked.
Did he produce that one?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I like the Modest one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
only song I ever liked.
Yeah, it's kind of trippy. I didn't know he did that one. So that would be the only one I like that he did. But his music is this though. So
I love Nutshell. There's a reason behind why I love that song by Alice in Chains and shit. And I watched Jeff Hardy singing in an airport, and I thought, okay, this might be good. My God, dude, he bombed that song. And I was like, how do you bomb that song?
NWA TNA, or after Carter took over TNA, and then Hogan Bischoff made it an Impact, or when NWA Billy Corgan took over TNA again. I think Billy Corgan could have been a turning point for them with their brand, what it was at the time, and the money that he had. I know NWA, I get all that, but with the name TNA had, I know it wasn't always the best name. There was a lot of controversy with it. I think he could have done way more with TNA than he did with NWA. That's my opinion.
I beg to differ, because you and I see that's another case of the AEWs, man.
Mm-hmm.
NWA Power was yours and mine. And this was when we were diehard WWE fans at the time too. NWA Power was yours and my shit every week, where we were glued to it. It was a blast from the past.
We waited every week for it to come out, and then we would do that night.
The question mark was a god, dude. Loved the new characters, loved the new stories, loved the cheesy fucking 80s feel.
Remember when we first watched it, we thought it was going to be the shits, and then we got up afterwards and we were like, this was really pretty good, man. And then we watched it the next week, and it became a weekly staple for the first season. We would wait. I think it came out on Wednesday nights or something like that.
Nights.
Yeah. And
it was an hour long. And more.
And we would just we would
when
wait.
When they got rid of fucking Cornette, dude, it went to shit.
Yeah. As soon as he made that stupid fucking statement and left there.
Yeah.
Are they still around, NWA?
NWA Power is still around. I don't know if it's heavily advertised, but it's still around.
Yeah. It was so fun back in the day, though.
Peek our head in, but another part that the big mistake that NWA Power made was they started bringing in all the familiar faces from the Attitude Era again, and all this shit, and going back to the it's what made you cool was you were fresh and new, you
Yeah.
know. And then you went back to the drawing board and thought, let's bring in some old timers, and it fucking went to shit.
Yeah. I still think Corgan could have done more with TNA because of the name value that it had possessed at the time. The
Sure.
NWA was such a dead brand, you know.
Yeah.
It was so dead for so long, and that's why no matter, if people like it or not now, if they're watching it, it really doesn't ever get talked about anymore. Like, I don't even know who the champion is over there.
Huh. Yeah. I don't know who the NWA champion is right
Joey
now
says
either.
Power is garbage now. Some of the wrestlers get offended and attack me on a live stream because I said it sucked.
I know Cardona was the champ for a little bit. He got injured. Trevor Murdoch, who we interviewed,
Yep.
and we had a great interview with Trevor Murdoch. That was one of my favorites that we've ever done.
That was before the
He's a-
first pay-per-view that they did, remember?
it was, and dude, it was like talking to Harley Race. I don't know if you remember that one, but that was a
Yeah,
that
he
was a
told the
fun
stories.
fucking interview, dude.
Yeah. That was right before their first pay-per-view that they did at the end of Power, for the season 1 of Power that we got him.
Yeah.
So that was a cool one.
If you like NWA Power, watch the first 2 seasons. After that, I would not recommend watching anymore.
Okay, Rand says that Power has their is on Roku and they have their own channel. Well, that doesn't say too much for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rand, we could have our own channel on Roku.
Yeah, we could, as long as you pay the $50 a month fee or whatever it is that they charge you, whatever the hell. It's not that much.
Yeah.
They'll let you
But
have
I
a channel on
appreciate you telling
Roku.
us that.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
It's next to TNA on there. I mean, what's TNA
sure
on
it
right
is.
now? Is it on Anthem? Well, Anthem owns it. I don't even know what they're on.
It's on Tubi, bro.
Tubi. Free on YouTube. I mean, hey, whatever. I saw somebody ask Tony Khan recently about bringing back AEW Dark, and I'm like, whoever in their right mind would ask something so dumb as that? When are you bringing back AEW After Dark or whatever, or Dark, or AEW Dark? The stupid YouTube show that he used to do with a bunch of jobbers. It was terrible. Let's see. Trevor Murdoch is cool. He was a staple in the Missouri Indians. Got to see him a lot when he first started. Yeah, humble dude. Humble guy.
He's cool.
For sure.
He lives in a fucking trailer still and fucking
living his life,
cool. Dude, he was cool as shit to talk to. I think he had just gotten off a fucking construction site when he was talking.
I think he was like, he was doing something like with labor or something. He said he's a plumber, or maybe a plumber, electrician, or something.
Yeah, he had a couple beers when he talked to us. You could tell.
a couple.
Yeah.
Probably more than a few. But yeah, so that's a little topic, a little discussion on TNA. But did you watch Crown Jewel this weekend from Perth, Australia?
I did. I wasn't impressed. I mean, we knew what was going to happen, right? Seth Rollins was going to go over on Cody Rhodes. There was no way they were going to let Cody win. I think they made the wrong call myself. I think Cody Rhodes should have went over, but I got to say, man, I'm happy the Brawns are no longer in that stable.
Yeah. They've been freed.
What's up, Laza? I was hoping you were going to show up, man.
What's going on, Blackjack Laza? I thought it was a pretty decent show. It wasn't that bad. I know we bitched.
Predictable.
Yeah, well, of course it was predictable. I know we bitched about the ESPN thing and we talked about it, the extra money and stuff. But I got to say, I'm actually really liking this package that they have because I saved money because I had those ones anyways. Like I had Disney. I didn't have ESPN, but I had Disney and Hulu. So I was already paying for them. Then I get ESPN.
Easier to navigate than Peacock?
Way easier. And it's always right there on your homepage when you go on Disney or Hulu. I always go on Disney Plus typically. It's just, I think Disney Plus is an easier to navigate app and you get the stuff that you want. They do a good job of narrowing it down. So it's right there. And for me, I'm a big football fan. You get all the football games that ESPN carries and you get college football on the weekend. So I got to say it's a win for me now. And, I go back and I actually save a couple of bucks now for me for what I had, but I get other people's bitch if they didn't have that stuff before, if they didn't have Hulu or Disney, they didn't want all those things. I get it, but
I'm doing what Stephanie McMahon fucking recommended. So
using the shark net.
Yeah, I'm not even doing it, dude.
Doing a little surf shark, man.
Well, the fucked up thing is I have all the shit to watch it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I committed to you guys. I'll watch Raw every week, but the PLEs, if I don't like them, I'm not watching it unless we live stream it.
Committing to Raw is a hard one. I don't think I can commit to Raw every week. I just no. I could do it once or twice a month, like for the show if we did a stream for it, but I couldn't do it every week. No way. The show bores me too much usually, too fast. I mean, there's good parts to it, but Crown Jewel, very predictable, like you mentioned. It was nice to see Stephanie Vacker win over Tiffany Stratton. I gotta say, bro, Beckway, yes, Stephanie Beckway. I gotta say, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. You guys tell me what you think. I think Tiffany Stratton is ass, man. I think she sucks. What do you think?
You're not gonna get any fucking judgment from me on that, dude. I think she sucks too.
She's terrible. I don't get what. I don't get it.
I think there's much better talent that could be utilized besides her in that spot. So
I try. She's a beautiful woman. Okay, beautiful woman, and
I don't even think she's that pretty, bro. I don't.
I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's gorgeous and all that stuff, and she's great, and is very athletic and all that shit. I think she is one. Who she reminds me of in the ring, who forces everything that they do, and it just looks like they're rehearsing it in their head constantly, and it just doesn't match up. She reminds me of Becky Lynch in the ring.
Yep.
Very clunky, very, very just.
It would not surprise me if Becky Lynch trains her or works her out.
Works with her. Yeah.
Like you can see their styles like in comparison to each other.
Yeah, and I've never been a Becky Lynch fan.
Natty Neidhart,
Yeah, I might even say that Natty's a better worker in the ring than Tiffany.
That's saying. Oh, what did you just say?
Yeah, she's a better worker in the ring, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll be fair. Do I like her as a character? I fucking hate her. You guys know my thoughts on it. I hate the character.
I mean, can we hear a few? No, I'm just kidding.
she's a decent worker in the ring, and she's a much better worker than Tiffany Stratton out there. No doubt about it. I'm not saying she's a better overall personality, but
how many discus clotheslines do you think she throws in the match?
About 19 at least. Yeah. It's like watching a Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes match. You're going to see 52 curb stomps. You're going to see 19, crossroads in it.
Yeah, at least those look cool, though. She just spins and does a clothesline. She can't even fucking stand up straight out.
Yeah, and she, the fucking the moonsault that Tiffy does looks like she's about ready to kill herself every time she does that fucking thing. Yep. I worry about her existence. I just don't. It's just not there for me, man. And then Stephanie Vacker's great. I love her. I love her look. I love her music. I love her entrance. I love her aura. She looks like such a nice person. I can do without
the horns, man. I don't like the horns, but everything else is cool.
See, I like the goth look. I think it's great.
The goth look is great. I just think the goat head fucking horns are fucking stupid. But I
think it's kind of cool on her. I think she's got a cool. Yeah. I think she's overall just a really cool, performer. All in all, I think she's gonna have a really long and good career.
She is a beautiful woman for sure.
Absolutely, she is phenomenal. Rewind.
Yes.
Tiffany's head and shoulders above Becky Lynch. Tiffany's very athletic, and I'm a fan. I prefer women's wrestling over the guys. All right. Yeah, we started a little bit earlier today, Rewind.
But Rewind's favorite diva is fucking Linda McMahon, so how can we go off of that?
Linda McMahon and Moolah. Don't forget Moolah.
That's right. I forgot.
Tiffany is Barbie and Pat McAfee is Ken. Maybe. I don't know. Pat McAfee's annoying enough as it is, so he'd probably do well in the Ken role, but I just didn't find that match very enjoyable between those two. It was a decent enough match, but Tiffany Stratton just doesn't do it for me.
Everyone, we're gonna try and start earlier. A lot of it's my fault when we start. It's at my time it's 7. I don't know what time it's John's time when we actually start.
We're 3 hours apart, so that's
3 hours apart. So it's 10 o'clock out there. Yeah. So I've been trying to get. I mean, my side business is starting to slow down, so I get here a little bit earlier. Try to slam down the dinner with the family real quick and then hop on. So
when we got the time zone changes is coming back too, so we're only gonna be 2 hours apart. So we'll probably start going on for the Eastern time, folks, maybe about 9 to 9:30 Eastern time over the next month or so. So we definitely will change the time. So that's actually a good thing to say. With time zone changes, we'll probably start a little bit earlier. So
for sure,
we'll get back to there. We make it work as best as we can with being 2,600 miles or something away from each other and time zones away. So
we're hoping at some point down the road that changes.
Maybe. So. You never do know. You never do know how life works out, right?
Yep.
So what do you think about the Roman Reigns match? Because he lost clean to Bronson Reed.
Again.
I mean, he beat him the first time, but then they beat him down and kicked the shit out of him afterwards the first time.
But why? What are they setting up here? I mean,
I don't know.
Are we going to see Roman Reigns with Bronson Reed at WrestleMania? Come on. Like, who wants that shit, you know? And I'm sorry, but it's kind of disrespectful to Roman Reigns, the spot they got him in after he's carried the whole fucking promotion as long as he has. Like,
what is the end game? Could it be for
what's
this?
the end game? I mean,
Are they setting up
and,
war games for Survivor Series? Is that what they're doing?
and is he fucking retiring soon? You know? So, because
I don't think
he's getting a
so.
bunch of, well, I mean, he's getting exposure in Hollywood, man. So you never know. It seems like whenever a wrestler gets bit by that Hollywood bug, not every time. You know, Randy Orton didn't leave, but sometimes when that wrestler gets bit by that bug, they don't come back. You know, and they get paid big time, and they realize they don't have to take the bumps and the bruises. They get a stunt man for that shit. Like, I don't know, might be sayonara Roman Reigns here really soon.
That was almost going to be my topic for tonight for the main event, was going to be that question: is Roman's time over? You know, I don't think it is yet, to be honest with you. I think he's got another. I think this will probably be his last run as a full-time. No, he's saying full-time now, but you know, as a main character on the show at different points, I'll say that before he goes all the way Hollywood.
Part about it is he could have been that the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was so many times. Like, I feel like if Triple H was in charge his whole career, it would have been so much better. Because when Vince was in there, it was like he had
White
this
meat baby face. Let's shove him down everybody's throat. Nobody wanted it.
Yep, and they wanted him to stay that Shield look and all that stuff, and it was just like, dude, like, we get it, you know? How many times can you play the Hounds of Justice song and have him come out from the crowd? And
he's probably the greatest example of somebody that benefited from a turn, even over like the likes of Hogan, because Hogan was over like crazy when he turned as a heel. When Roman turned, people, the leukemia stuff had worn off with him, you know, the sympathy he was getting for him. People were starting to shit on him again. And they shit on him so bad before that.
They did.
You know, like they hated him. Then he came back after the leukemia and people were a lot nicer for a while. And then they started shitting on him again. And when he did that heel turn, it's probably the greatest turnaround in anybody's career that they could ever do. Then he went on that 4-year, you know, streak of holding the belt for all that time. So it worked out very well for him. Now, where does he go now? I don't know. You know, it's hard to comment.
It's kind of a ridiculous story to tell, and then right after you pair him with Bronson Reed, like he went undefeated for 4 years and defeated the likes of all these fucking legends and shit like that, and you have him lose to this fat fuck. Like,
yeah. I don't get the Bronson Reed thing either with people with if they like him or whatever. Yeah, it's stupid, man. You know, he doesn't have a good look to him. You know, yeah, he's a big dude.
His outfit is one of the worst in wrestling.
It's horrible. Everything, like, there's nothing I like about watching.
I find myself wanting to look away from the TV.
It's disgusting, right? Like, it just doesn't fit.
They could have put something on that covered a little bit more. I'm just saying.
I'd rather see Omos in the ring, I think, than that guy.
I'd rather see Otis in a thong than that guy, bro. Like, you know, like,
I'm just not a big fan. You know, I'm just not. I never have been, and I never will be. And I know he's got a big, imposing look, but I mean, what a way to go over. You know, if
he got a lot of love there in Australia, but it's his hometown, so
maybe that's why they put him over. I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't really see much to it. You know, with him, Braun Breaker is a different story, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But yeah, I don't know where they go with him now. To be honest with you. Yeah. I think the shoes thing was fucking dope. Just straight up hood jacked Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I could see Rewind linking that one. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, when he steal like 2 or 3 pairs of them and was walking around with a shoe of follow or whatever.
They're all special edition Jordans and shit.
You know, I don't know when they're going to put a rocket to LA Knight, man. I think the time is coming to a very short end here if they don't do it soon and give him a run.
LA Knight is the modern day Macho Man. You know, like, they need to put the fucking title on him at some point. Give it a month. Just give him a month run. Just to say that he did it. He's that good, and he has developed his character after they gave him the kryptonite of changing his fucking name after his whole career.
What was his first name that he came in as?
Eli Drake.
Well, that was his TNA name. Didn't he have another? Didn't he have another name in NXT at first? Max something.
Yeah, something like that.
Max Dupree. He was like getting lined up with that girl Maxine or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. Then they changed it to LA.
The Max Models or something.
And I'm wondering why the fuck they did that, because he's Eli Drake, and that's what he always was, and that's what brought him to the dance to begin with. And then they gave him this fucking chicken shit, and he made chicken salad of it, dude. The guy is over like Rover. He's one of the best things to watch on Monday Night Raw consistently. Those are the moments that I'm like, fuck yeah, and I watch, and then when his stuff's over, I'm like, all right, well, Raw's over. Like. They don't have Gunther on there anymore. Like I really, you can only watch the same CM Punk segment over and over so many times. I mean, they literally do the same thing with him and Rollins every Monday.
How long has it just been going on with Rollins and Punk and Rollins and Cody in some way? Rollins and Roman and Cody.
It's
the
a hot
bloodline shit. It's like you got to start doing new things.
This shit? Yeah.
Yeah. You got to give some other people a shot to maybe do something with it. I think LA Knight would be a big draw for them.
Not just a big draw, but a breath of fresh air. You throw somebody else in the fucking mix, like give the guy a shot, dude, and put it on his back. And if it don't work, take it off him the next fucking month. What's it gonna hurt?
He's not a young guy anymore either.
He's not a young guy.
You need to get your time in now. So he's over 40 years old, I think. I think he's 41 or 42. Yeah. Mike Bronson Reed, he had a great following for years on the Aussie Indies before he became known in WWE. He wrestled as Jonah Rock before WWE. He wrestled quite a few states here in Australia. Yeah, I remember that being his name. He was kind of an indie darling, if I remember correctly, that people had kind of seen him with his size and, his athleticism that he had. I mean, Lord knows the guy jumped off the top of the fucking cage last year and almost killed himself on there. And you got to give a big dude credit like that to do I think it was like, what's his move? The tsunami or something off the top rope. But yeah, still not a big fan.
Who did they have Fatu go against?
Fatu, which one?
Jacob Fatu.
Jacob, he hasn't done anything.
Why?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him in a while, but I don't watch SmackDown. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong. If he's been on SmackDown a lot, but I don't think he's been featured much on the show over the last few months. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, they're mismanaging him. And one thing WWE, I think, is getting severely fucking wrong right now is Pentagon Jr.
Yeah, they need to strap a rocket to him a little bit more.
Dude. The guy prints money all day long.
Jacob Fatu should be a world title, should have the world title in the next 6 months to a year, in my opinion. There's no reason this guy couldn't be. He's a badass and he's a killer, and he would be absolutely over like crazy with the fans. Not only as a babyface, if you made him a babyface, or if you made him into just the killing machine of a heel that he is, and just go with it. And he's a great worker.
What's funny about that, Lawrence, is Eli Drake at the time, or he was on Tough Enough when Austin coached it. And Austin basically told LA Knight that he would never draw flies to shit.
Yeah, look how that's
working. It's really ironic you're saying that.
Yeah. Yep. So Jacob and Drew are right there. They might be beefing. I thought Drew had gone to go do a movie, the Highlander movie or something like that too. He's going to be gone for a while, I think, as well.
Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, he's doing the new Highlander movie with Batista. Wow. Batista's kind of getting him into Hollywood right now. Mm-hmm. So I got to say too with Drew, he's always bored the shit out of me, but over the last couple of years, he's been one of the most entertaining guys to watch. He's always funny when he gets out there.
Him and Punk before, or when he was like, just a night off at work, just bored at work or whatever with his tweet.
They had great chemistry in the ring together. Like they actually look like they fucking hate each other. Drew looks like he hates everybody he's going in there with. And Drew used to bore me to death as a champion when he was the babyface. I love him as a heel. I think he's doing great.
I'd like to see Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor have a program together. I think that would be really good.
Finn can probably have a good program with anybody. And ironically, Rand mentions Finn right now. He says, and then Finn will be.
There you go.
And I agree with you on Penna, 100%. They should be doing way more than him, than throwing him in shitty, stupid matches.
If you watch TikTok, man, every wrestling fan is making a video of doing his little thing where he comes out like that guy prints fucking money. People, I have like 20 of his T-shirts myself, just from the indie scene and stuff. Like.
You have a bunch of his masks too, right?
I have a couple signed masks. I've got professional grade ones, cheap ones. Yeah, Pentagon Jr. is somebody that I've followed, and he wrestled one of my idols, Vampiro. Well, not for the person, but the character. and had a match of the year, and I always wanted to see that second match. But since then, man, that was the match that made him a made guy for me. Like, I just thought that match was so fucking legendary and epic, dude. For what it was amazing for a storytelling.
If you push Penta more and make him more as a mainstream main event player, maybe that's their intention later on. Maybe they're just trying to get him some exposure for a year. I don't know. If you push this guy as a main event player, you will be printing money with this guy. He resonates with the fans. They love him. His merch is cool as hell. Those fucking masks, you could be selling them like crazy. He'd be a great star for you when you're going down into Mexico and, South America. If you want to go further out, he's a great guy to represent you. The fans love him. I mean, he's going to print you money if you put him up there. And I'm not saying he should be there up at the top forever. Give a guy like that a 4 to 6 month title reign.
Yep.
Like, what is it going to harm? He's going to do a damn good job, and he's going to get over more, and they're going to make a lot more money for it.
Yeah, for sure.
In the world of making money, that's the way I would look at it. LA Knight has proven he can draw flies to shit, and he has hopefully impressed Stone Cold since. Maybe Stone Cold could have had
cool, dude.
a WrestleMania match with him based upon the past. The promos between those two would be fun, wouldn't it?
They would be fun, and you know what? The finishing move that LA Knight has kind of looks like a stunner a little bit.
What's he called? The chart topper or something?
Chart topper or some shit like that.
Mic check, or I don't know. Some shit.
Thank you. I mean, when he goes to deliver it kind of looks like the beginning of a stunner. So
Penta Jr. will be champ on the day AEW closes their door.
Yeah.
Tony, he's gonna keep doing that forever just to spite us now, Lawrence. With everyone saying LA Knight, yeah. He's great, man. I'd love to see them do something for him. Let's talk about Cena and AJ Styles. Let's do it next, and we'll do the main event and what the Vision's doing, and then we'll hit on AJ Styles. All right, I really liked the match. I thought it was a good match. These two really went out there and performed their asses off and did a great job. I thought it was really cool to see them do a lot of those, different finishers to pay homage to people. I thought it was overkill, though, and I thought it took a little bit away from the match to me. And it was fun. It was really good. They did a great job. I just think they overdid it a little bit in this match. And I like the moment that they had. I like the respect that Cena showed AJ. I like the respect all the way around. But you guys are handing out title reigns tonight. LA Knight, then Penta, and then Hook. Hook gets it anytime he wants. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. His name is his finisher, the BFT. Trauma. Here we go. Thanks, Ricky. But I love the match. It was fun. It was just too many of the spots, too many of the homages to people, and just a little overkill with it for me. That's my only gripe from the match. What about you?
They did way too many cameos. Cena looked like he was blown out. Just man, he was trying, but AJ Styles can wrestle circles around Cena all day long, even when he's tired and exhausted and old too. Yeah. So. AJ was the shining star in this match to me, man. He carried Cena and made him showcase him really well. So it was probably the best showing for both of them since Cena's been back. So that goes without saying that AJ Styles is really responsible for the success of that match. So
Rewind agrees with you. He was blown up.
Yeah.
John Cena doing the lion tamer was the one I spit out my coffee to.
It looked so retarded with his face too. Like, dude, that was so horrible. And then the tombstone cracked me up too.
Yeah,
it just looked like he died when he took that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird to see how they kind of parlayed the end of it. We were talking about it earlier. There was so many spot moves that they did and homages and cameos, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different of those things in there. We were talking about before, like, what was the fucking finisher anyways? Because they did so many of them.
They did so many of them, we didn't even know. We thought it was the Bray Wyatt spot.
Yeah, I thought it was the Bray Wyatt, and we looked it up, and it was the tombstone into the attitude adjustment that he did. Which was what the finisher was. But that's why when you do too much, sometimes it takes away a little bit from it. But that's
less
just being
more.
picky.
Every time in wrestling, less is more.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're being picky and overcritical. I still think it was a great match, and these two had a great rivalry with one another throughout their career. He had great matches with Kurt. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that in a little bit, Lazo, when we get into AJ, because there's just so many good matches to talk about for the phenomenal one. But I'm glad to see they went out with the way that they did. And I think it was the right move. Cena got his 100th, he got his 100th PLE win to close it out. If that's even a stat that's worthwhile, they were mentioning it. So, he got that, and congratulations to him. And he's only got like about 4 matches left, or 4 appearances left at least. And then we'll see where it goes from there.
I love what Rewind said here. That was one of my favorite moments. Cena actually wrote the intro that the announcer gave about AJ Styles. So that I thought that was a really classy thing too.
AJ popped for it too, which was great. Like, he was trying to maintain his composure for a while, and then when he did the one about the Bullet Club, and all that stuff, like, that's what I think got AJ. And you saw his face just kind of chuckle at it. And
it was cool to see him in his original attire too.
Yeah.
Even with the choker necklace that he wears, it was cool to see.
Yep, 100%. But we're going to talk about AJ more in just a little bit. So let's get to the main event, though, of Crown Jewel. The main event was Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. Once again, I'm going to use the same thoughts that I have, Richie, towards the last match. There's just too many fucking false finishes in these matches. I think these two tore it down, man. Cody and Seth have a great synergy together. Like,
they do.
They work so well with one another. I just hate devaluing finishing moves as much as they do it so much in wrestling today, but especially with this. I mean, there's fucking crossroads off the top rope that didn't get him. There's 19.
That was one of the coolest moves I've ever fucking seen, by the way.
And it was almost really bad for Seth.
Yeah.
And
that's what made it look really cool.
Yeah. It was cool. That should have been the end right there when you're hitting your finisher off the fucking top rope. And I don't even think that he's ever done that before that I can remember. But
no, and listen, he beat Roman Reigns with 2 regular crossroads. So if you're hitting Seth Rollins with one flying out of the fucking air,
you should take him out.
You should definitely win.
And then Rollins is doing the super stomps over and over again, and every part of his finisher, pedigrees, didn't work. And then he goes up to the top, and that's how it's finished off. Richie, do you still have the choker? I gave you one with the collar on it. I might need it back.
Jesus Christ. Come get it, big boy. Bring your lotion.
But, these guys tore it down. It just takes away a little bit for me. Maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you guys agree with me. Just too many. There's too many finishers that was in this match. But these two, they can fucking go, man. And they can go with one another. And unfortunately, Seth made apparently a very catastrophic move for his career for a little while, and it looks like he completely fucked his shoulder up.
And this is a legitimate injury. Like, this
I think it is too. He did that coast to coast, and it was just the stupidest fucking move to do. And
well, it was that, but I was gonna say that Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, they really remind me of a time where Cena and Randy Orton were at the top. That's in the comparison of what I draw with these two. Unfortunately, Rollins seems to be injury prone. I don't know what's going to happen when he comes back. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen when he comes back. I don't know exactly what's going to go on with him or where they're going to go storyline wise, because the whole team fucking bailed on him. So where do you go after that?
It was definitely rushed, and that's why I definitely think it was an injury, because there's no way they just created this faction 6 months ago and then are dissolving it already. I think it took about I think what did it take, about 3 to 4 months to even find out a name for this faction that they created anyways? Like, that's why I don't think this is something phony or whatever. I think this is totally a shoot that he's hurt. And I think you definitely have to say that he is an injury prone guy.
Yeah.
He has been hurt a lot in his career. And
his quadricep, his shoulder, his knees, his back, everything.
He's going to be feeling it later in life.
But I can't say that I fucking am not happy about it sometimes because of what he fucking did to Sting. I've never forgiven him for that. Ever.
Well, Sting came back and had a great run, though.
He did, man. But Sting should have... The fact that Seth Rollins gave Sting a turnbuckle bomb and thought that was a good fucking idea. Like, I don't care if Sting asked me in the ring to do that to him. I'm not fucking doing that to Sting, dude. Like, that was a dumbass move. And then he injured Finn Balor, too,
I'm going to come back to this in 1 second, Ricky, because I actually was going to talk about something similar to this. So I'll come back to it in just a minute here with what you with the one comment that you just had. As a whole, though, as it was mentioned by somebody up top there, I think Ricky said it, that Rollins did need this victory, and it made sense to put the victory on him and get him this victory and to get him to get some validity now, so to speak. I think they did a really good job selling how important it was for him in his career. He's lost all these times. I thought he was going to lose again in this match, especially when he hit that, top rope, crossroads. I thought it was over. I didn't think that anybody was going to kick out from that. Like it blew me a little bit
That was
away.
badass.
It was
That move
100%.
badass.
So he benefited the most from it, but after they did that, I thought there was no way. And they ended up, giving him the victory. And I know it wasn't fully clean. He hit him with the Rolex and all that shit. But
That was a stupid moment. Like when they were like, "Oh, he's grabbing the watch. He's gonna hit him with it." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Cody took the 90 curb stomps in the thing and hitting him
Right.
with a little tiny Rolex watch,
Yeah.
with a light jab. It hurt him that bad.
That's what it took, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
there it is. But he was
knocked
the
him
one that
cold
needed
out.
he was the one that needed the victory the most, and gets hurt. So that whole victory that he gets and all the momentum that he's going to get from it just goes down and goes, And then on Monday night, they have Braun and CM Punk wins the number one contenders match, and then they have afterwards Braun and Bronson lay out everybody, and Seth thinking he's got these guys and they're on his pocket, like always. And then they fucking turn on him, and Braun Breaker just spears him to death. And, I like Braun Breaker. I think there's a lot of upside to him, Richie. I really do. But I think he needs something to get him to be a main eventer. And I think
Paul Heyman is that guy. But I don't think he needs to be with Bronson Reed.
No. So for me, you tell me what you think about this. Well, let me ask you first. Did you like the match?
With Cody Rhodes and Rollins?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved it. I thought it was the best match of the night. I thought they tore the house down. They rightfully deserved to be in the main event. I really didn't have any complaints except for the false finishes, but even with the false finishes, I was still at the edge of my seat, wondering who the fuck was going to win. I couldn't predict that match. That was the one match that was not predictable for me.
Yep.
And that says anything,
They have great chemistry together.
They do.
They do. No doubt about it. They have great chemistry with one another. Cody Rhodes is a great worker in the ring. He really is. He is a great worker in the ring.
And he's that fucking good.
Yeah. He
Despite,
really is.
I don't like his character a lot of the times unless he's a heel.
But you got to be fair.
But you got to be fair. The guy tears the fucking house down. And the same with Seth Rollins. I think he's obnoxious. I think his voice is fucking rocks in a blender. But you know what? He's a great fucking worker, dude.
You always know you're going to get a good match with him.
One of my guilty pleasures is I wish I could have seen Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins. I think that would have been close to the most perfect match you'll ever see.
Yeah, those two would have torn it down for sure. They would have burned it down, so to speak, right?
They would have burned it the fuck down for sure.
Amen. But going back to what Ricky said earlier about Lesnar, there's rumor now, like they're like, oh, we're gonna bring more people into this faction now and kind of get it. Braun Breaker is the one that stands the most to value from this partnership and turning on Seth Rollins here. But Braun Breaker, I think, needs something to get him to that next level, Richie. And going back to what Ricky said, Brock Lesnar to me is the guy that if you want to get Braun Breaker over as a complete fucking badass killer, you have to put them together.
The problem with that is we've already seen the Paul Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar for the 50th fucking time. Like, I don't want to see that be told. I want. So the way, if they do go that route, which I have a suspicion that they're gonna, I want Paul Heyman to come out and go, you know what? The next big thing is who I'm always advocating for, and the next big thing is Braun Breaker. And I want him to rub the salt in the fucking wound with Lesnar. I want those type of promos where it's really personal. Start talking about his fucking family. Talk about Sable. Bring it all in there. I don't care. Like, make it fucking edgy, and you could, and you don't have to have Braun say a fucking thing. Just have Paul Heyman do it the whole time and say, "I birthed this man to come and destroy every bit of your fucking legacy, Lesnar. Like, you may have beat the streak of the Undertaker, but he's gonna beat yours and take you out for good." Like, I want Braun Breaker to retire Lesnar. I think that would be perfect.
He needs to destroy him eventually, and to me, it's going to be a heel Brock. I see it the opposite way. I think a heel Brock and Paul together again, running kind of a makeshift type faction or just being together again. You got to do it for just a short period of time. Like, try to let people believe that Brock, Bronson, Braun Breaker, are all going to work together great. And then you're seeing Braun Breaker getting tired of sitting in the background for Brock Lesnar and being his henchman all the time, and Paul putting everything into him. He did the same with Seth before that. Braun's going to be pissed. Eventually, Brock's going to do the turn on him and destroy him. Braun comes back, absolutely decimates him, and just flattens him. Hell, I'd even say give him a squash on Brock when they finally meet. Let him beat that motherfucker down in 30 seconds. And boom, Braun Breaker, main eventer.
His excuse is filming Rollerball 2. God, do you remember Rollerball 1? Good Lord, that was a
I tried to watch it once, I think, for about 15 minutes, and it was so fucking bad.
You remember watching like the roller? What was it? Like,
the roller derby. That shit was
roller
cool.
Derby. That shit was cool.
That shit. Did you ever see the one where they would fly off into the alligator pit?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you'd see those. Dude, I gotta send you a video later talking about the roller derby. There's this one from it, and somebody had sent it to me a few weeks ago. I just gotta find the link, and it's this one dude that's like the enforcer on the roller derby team, and it's just the highlight clip of like 6 minutes of him absolutely fucking people up, man, just laying them out. Like, the best is when he jumps feet first with his skates at somebody and kicks them in the chest to take them out. Like, we need that in today's, we need
roller derby back, dude.
Yeah, it was on in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, and it was it was like a rock and roller derby that they would do, and it was on maybe a couple of seasons. It was fun. Rollerball is an awful movie, though.
It is.
Cody is the best wrestler on the roster. He can wrestle, he can talk. He might be the best wrestler since Taz. Well, that's saying a lot right there. That's saying a lot for sure. Sting's son just debuted as a pro wrestler.
He sure did. I told you he was going to do that, Johnny. Yeah, he looks good.
He's got a good look to him. Punk, next WCW champ or WWE champ. I'm here for it. He deserves one more run. I do agree. He does. I hate that ugly ass.
We're gonna get it. That was the build, but how do they do it now that Seth Rollins is injured?
We'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
They literally just, Punk has been plagued time after time after time.
Every time.
His moment and his story and his perfect moment that's being shaped up for Mania, and then fucking Rollins does that shit.
Is he snake bitten? Is he such a cancer as a human being that he just gets this as retribution?
He is, man. He is. I'm not saying that he was the AEW cancer that they all talk about and all this shit, because he wasn't, but so Punk fucked somebody over in some previous life, man, because he's got some shitty luck. Like,
they're going to be setting up something with War Games here. Do you think it's really possible that we actually get, like, maybe Rollins competes against these guys in War Games and isn't hurt, and you get Rollins, Roman, Punk together on a team to take on, this other faction from Paul? Do you think that's a possibility? I don't see anything they're really doing to build up a War Games right now other than
they got to go back to the drawing board, because their whole plans have just changed. If this is a legitimate injury, it changes every part of the storyline.
Because it was supposed to probably be the Vision, versus Roman's team and other people on there. And probably Punk. Yeah. Probably would have been Punk, Cody, Roman. You get a big power team together, the Uso brothers, whatever. And then you go against the Vision and add in a couple other people, that you could throw in there.
What the fuck is WWE doing with Jey Uso?
I don't know. It's like, are they trying to make him a heel now? But then they do the babyface entrance and everything. They're doing this shit with him and his brother again. It's stupid, bro.
He was one of the hottest things going, and I'm not saying I enjoyed it or anything like that, but you got to give credit where credit's due. And once again, we're fair on here. He was over, man. He was the biggest thing on the show, and everybody, everybody loved him and shit like that. They've really shit the bed with Jey Uso, in my opinion.
Richie's got some Yeet glasses, everybody, just to throw that out there. He rocks those out all the time.
Hey, man, I secretly wear my Zack Ryder from the the YouTube show, I have his last episode sunglasses he wore, so I secretly wear those from time to time.
There you go. I've been to a couple roller derby shows in Portland. I went on a date with a chick who was
No
an enforcer
way.
for a team.
No way.
She was a
Did she leave
veterinarian
the
at the
house?
place where they test
Yes.
vaccinations apes.
Dude, he always says that he's out of stories or like he doesn't have any or anything. Like you just pull that one out of your fucking ass like you forgot it. Come
Rewind
on.
was banging a roller derby enforcer,
who
but
gives
who was
vaccines to
who was
monkey.
moonlighting as a roller derby person because she was a veterinarian at the ape vaccination place.
Yeah.
And he says he hasn't lived an
flogged the
amazing
shit
life.
out of her too.
Yeah. Rewind was in the back on the
Rewind's
operating
flogging
table.
apes, bro. He's sitting there flogging apes and she gets vaccines. Fuck.
The Triple B team with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel Roman Tildeo says, I don't want to see y'all till Christmas. I lost my shit. That was a fucking funny line, bro. Yeah.
I want to see y'all till Christmas.
Roman's got some really interesting comedy styles sometimes when you see him. He really
it's so dry, it's good.
He is, and then you can see when he pops. Like there's this when we were talking about Chris Jericho last week, when Jericho was doing the list and they had the Team Raw versus SmackDown. I think it was at Survivor Series. And you had Jericho making fun of James Ellsworth and, AJ Styles in his soccer hair. And then even Jericho made fucking Roman Reigns break character. And you just see Roman just dying inside. And he's got this big shitting grin on his face, opposite of what his character always is. Roman's probably one of the, I bet you, he's one of those secretly fucking fun guys just to hang out with.
He's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah. He's just, I don't know. He's got great charisma to him. And he's a very likable guy to me. But like you said, he seems so dry that when he finds something funny or does something funny, it just fits, Because those are like the people, like they're just fucking dry 90% of the time. But when they hit you with a joke 10% of the time, they got you rolling on the floor. Yeah,
they get you good.
You're like, really? What the fuck?
It came from you?
Yeah. We only went on one date the whole time. We just talked about her job and how she vaccinates monkeys and how during COVID they had to order apes from China.
Maybe that's where the shit came from.
Rewind's responsible for the vid.
That's responsible for the vid.
Rewind's date the one time brought it into the fucking world, man.
Life,
thanks, Rewind, for bringing it into the States there with your veterinarian chick.
They need to make a Forrest Gump too with Rewind being the star, man. Straight up.
Bro, I'd watch his documentary if he had one on him.
He's Rewind... like, sex is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to
get. Bro, can you imagine Valentine's Day with him with like he's got the fucking like the old WCW spin the wheel, make a deal. They had on that old wheel, the coal miner's glove match. Rewind's got the fucking paddle on a pole match, that he's
flogging on a pole.
Pick your poison match is you get to dress in whatever BDSM character. Who's the gimp?
Jesus Christ.
Scotty says he doesn't live a great life. He doesn't say a great life, but an interesting life. Bullshit. Maybe 5 minutes of entertainment and 45 minutes of just boring shit I live.
You've given us fucking hours of entertainment, dude. From the very first fucking Taz is the GOAT. Welcome.
Yep. Paddle on the pole match was concocted by fucking Rewind, not Russo or any of those guys from the Attitude Era. Rewind, young Rewind. Yeah, a 6-year-old Rewind created the paddle on a pole match.
Dude, when he told us on that interview we did with him, he's like, I think what influenced it was Hulk Hogan beating people with his belt. I was just like, dude, that was awesome.
He's a gem, bro. Dude. He's a gem. All right, everybody. Let's take 5 minutes and we'll come back and we'll finish up with some AJ Styles. So you good for 5, Richie?
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Let's get a quick bathroom break in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back at 5 and we're going to talk some AJ Styles. Some fucking flogging on a pole matches. All right, guys. We'll be back in about 5. All right, everybody, we are back. I don't know if Richie's back yet, but he's muted for a second. So we'll give him a minute. There he is. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Let's get to some of the comments. Rewinding a film that is a mix of Forrest Gump meets Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
For
Deuce
sure.
has nothing on Rewind. Joel Gardner eats his heart out at Rewind. Yeah.
Oh,
Rewind is the
absolutely.
quintessential stud muffin.
Dude, when I rewatch that type of shit, I read that in Rewind's voice.
You were welcome, Perry. Grand loves says Devon and Perry.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
did
saw
see that about Raven.
that was a really good interview with Ariel Hawani that he did. Did you listen to the whole interview?
I did. I did. I thought that was really good.
Listen, I'm not going to lie and say I've been a big Raven fan or anything like that. He's a really charismatic and entertaining guy.
Yeah, he is. He really is. He's a funny dude. I think he had a very underrated run in ECW. It never transitioned over to WCW or WWE for some reason. They just didn't know how to use him. And not to mention his attitude behind the scenes, got the best of him a lot of times. So, I think Raven is a legend in his own right. Legendary ECW run, but yeah, it sucks to hear he's having memory issues.
Yeah, he's got like early onset Parkinson's disease or something too. So yeah, it's terrible to see what he's going through. But definitely check out that interview with Ariel Hawani that he did. He's one of the most candid and honest people that I've ever heard. That gets on an interview. Like he really doesn't shy away from any topic whatsoever. And the thing I like about him is he's the first person to admit his own mistakes too, and some of the things that he did. But he doesn't live his life with any regret. It's just that he knows that he fucked up some things, and he's cool with it. He he knows he fucked up sometimes, and he knows he was a little difficult to deal with, and he admits it. And it is what it is for him. It doesn't
Yeah,
change how he looks at his career or anything like that. He's a very interesting guy to listen to. So
sure.
definitely go check out his interview with Ariel if you like Raven. So Paul Heyman said Eric Bischoff cannot write the Raven character. He didn't understand it. I would agree with that.
I
Rewind. I
agree with
don't.
that 100%. Eric Bischoff didn't understand a lot of things.
Yeah, and he admitted that about with when Raven came there that he really wasn't a big fan of the character. I think Raven was more of a Kevin Sullivan type hire that he wanted to push,
Yeah,
and Eric just really, not that he didn't
he
like
knows
him,
to
but
do
yeah, it just wasn't his thing. He didn't really get it, didn't get the character. So, hey, it didn't work out. Raven still had a hell of a career, though. That's for
them.
sure. All right, let's get into the main event now. Let's get into a little AJ Styles. When did you first become aware of AJ Styles?
AJ Styles, I became aware of him shortly after WCW closed.
Mhm.
I watched the Asylum years when I was in Texas as a young guy. I watched it right after because it was back in the day when on cable when I would be looking for wrestling during the day. They had just started the WWE 24/7 or WWF 24/7 at the time on demand, so I'd watch a lot of their programming on there. And of course, when you were going through the TV guide back in the day, the one that used to scroll up really slowly and stuff like that, you would see TNA wrestling. And my parents thought it was something to do with porn and wrestling mixed because of the TNA name. So for a while there, I didn't get to watch it until I showed them an advertisement showing that Sting was on there and different things like that. So then I started watching it. So yeah, man. I mean, that was my first experience getting to see AJ Styles in the X Division, and it was like a WCW 2.0.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Let me see what Lawrence said here first. I used to be a huge Raven mark. His best stuff was being a top in ECW and NWA TNA. He had high potential in WCW. I was into Raven's WCW stuff, but didn't get as far in WCW as I think he could have. Yeah, good point, Lawrence. I agree with you 100% on that. All right, so for me, I had heard AJ Styles' name, through the years, but I never watched TNA in the beginning or anything like that. It took me years to go back and really watch those things from the beginning. Chris got me into it a lot. So did you. You guys were always pushing it to me, and I always enjoyed it. I got into TNA a little bit when Hogan went over there, just because of Hogan.
Yeah.
So when they got on whatever it was, Spike TV, TNN, I would try to catch them sporadically. And then when I heard Hogan was coming over there, being a Hogan mark, is when I went over to go watch TNA, and I
Yeah.
started seeing some of the AJ Styles stuff, and Not going to say I was the biggest fan of him right off the bat because they were kind of trying to do that shit with him and Flair, and I just wasn't really into it. And when they kind of let go of that and let AJ be AJ, I started to enjoy him, a lot more seeing him. And then years later, when you guys got me to go back and watch the early TNA, NWA TNA days, I fell in love with AJ Styles.
That stuff was good. Like how? Okay,
Oh.
even besides AJ Styles, how did you feel about the Asylum years? Like,
It was amazing. It was amazing. It really was good. Chris and I were doing it for a period of time. We would watch the NWA TNA about once a month, and it's one of those shows that I still would love to go back and maybe restart a series like that one day down the road and go back and watch the early Asylum years and kind of devote some time to really getting into it again. Chris and I used to have
a fair shake, man.
No, and I wish we would have had more time to do it. Chris and I just didn't have enough time to do it, and TNA, wasn't this big mainstream thing, so it didn't draw a lot of numbers on those shows when we were doing them. But we had a lot of fun doing them. So maybe one day I'd like to revisit it because those early Asylum years, what I've seen is really good shit, man. And
really good shit.
If you want to talk about one of the people that was at the forefront of it being that good in the beginning, it's AJ Styles, no doubt about it. You know? Like AJ Styles to me was the unsung hero of NWA TNA right from the beginning.
Was.
From what I've seen and from what I've read through the years. You tell me you've watched it all. You've seen it since the beginning.
They don't call it the house that AJ Styles built for nothing.
Amen. Like, would there be an NWA? Not NWA, but would there be a TNA now? Like to the extent that it is, or would have gotten over to the extent it did without an AJ Styles? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think he was such a marquee player for them that without AJ Styles, I don't know what TNA's identity would have been, how long they would have stuck around. He drew a lot of people to that product. He was not.
He really did. He was a guy that WCW had on their developmental.
Yep.
He was just being featured at the end.
Yep.
In the cruiserweight division on WCW Nitro.
It was a tag team cruiserweight division they were doing.
Tag team cruiserweight.
Yeah, they were called Air Paris.
And we never got to see those tag team belts, by the way, what they were going to look like.
Yep. It's a shame too, right?
Shame. I always try to imagine what those belts would have looked like, but yeah, we never got to see it. But that was the first time I remember seeing AJ Styles, but actually being invested in him was the Asylum years. And then from there, man, I followed him everywhere he went to New Japan. And then, when he made that WWE debut in that Royal Rumble match, that was one of the loudest pops, I think, that I had heard in probably 5 years prior to that. Like, it was a huge moment for him,
Rewind says, I was flipping through the channels and TNA ring caught my eye. Probably just watched TNA for a good year, maybe longer. I wasn't watching WWE, just TNA around 2009, 2010, and 11. AJ definitely caught my eye. Yeah. I mean, there was no way you weren't if you watched an AJ Styles match for sure. Rand says AJ versus Punk and TNA is when you see the future of WWE coming.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Before NWA, WCW, TNA, AJ Styles was a top name in Wildside for NWA. Before which he had a developmental deal with WCW. Yeah, so I remembered the name of the Air Paris team, but I never remembered till years later when they mentioned it that was AJ Styles on there. Yeah. And you saw the shit he was doing at the end of WCW, and that's where I think a lot of people's like, holy shit, this guy's good. Then you get him over and, NWA TNA in the beginning. That's when he solidifies himself that he's not just good, he's one of the best in the world, and he's phenomenal, right? Yeah. Let's see. AJ had a great feud with Air Paris in NWA Wildside. AJ tagged with as Air Raid. That was the name right there. Air Raid. Yeah, Air Raid. Air Paris was his partner. WCW had the most stacked roster ever. It's too bad that Weasel Russo got his hands on it. Yeah, him amongst many other people for sure. If they didn't have him and Daniels and Joe early, I don't think TNA would have even gone to the Hogan Sting angle.
Yeah, that's true, Daniel. And I appreciate you showing up tonight, man. I think it's the first time I've seen you out here watching the show.
Yeah, I don't recognize that name. Absolutely, man. Follow the channel, buddy. Subscribe, please. Absolutely. It's Crazy Dixie asked AJ to take a pay cut, and that's why he left. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a little bit of rewind. We'll definitely cover that because talk about one of the most insulting things probably ever to a guy.
Could you imagine talking to your primetime guy? Like, It'd be like WWE going to Roman Reigns and being like, hey, pal, we got to cut your pay for whatever fucking reason. Hope you're
Yeah.
okay with that.
I
Like,
know you've been the face of this place, for all these years, and you brought everybody money, but we needed to take you a massive pay. Or we'll re-sign you. We're going to re-sign you, but we're just not. We're not.
Don't worry. You're just
Don't
gonna have to
worry,
do
but
it
we're
for
not even
less.
going to give you what you were making. We're just going to cut
Right.
you. We're just going to
Yeah.
trim your money right from the bat. No,
You're gonna wrestle the same amount though.
yeah. AJ Styles, Elix Skipper.
Dude.
Elix Skipper is fucking awesome.
I don't like Elix Skipper, but again, we're fair here.
That
Fucking very
dude can
talented
go.
individual. Yeah.
Dude, that guy.
My
can
favorite
go.
AJ matches were AJ and Finn and AJ and Kenny Omega. So go check that shit out.
Hey, thanks for sending your buddy here, man.
Right on, man. That's awesome. Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it, man.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Who's your Dan? If you're out there, who's your favorite wrestler? We like to ask that. Yes. We've got some interesting answers from Taz to fucking everybody else.
We get an eclectic group of people that give us different answers all the time. Yeah. That's for sure. Welcome.
Welcome.
Elix Skipper, though, man, like this guy could go. Those X Division matches.
He's hardworking Bobby Walker on steroids.
Yeah, that can actually work.
They can actually work.
He's doing these crazy the shit Elix Skipper could do that I saw him do. WCW was great too. Yeah. I thought it was funny with him in Team Canada with Lance Storm
shit.
Yeah, he was the whatever was the Saskatchewan heavyweight or just a Saskatchewan cruiserweight champ or whatever. He was great in Team Canada, but his TNA shit, phenomenal. No pun intended to AJ's thing there. He's just that damn good. If you've never watched his matches, check them out for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he remember this, Richie? I'm sorry to interrupt. When he he did the tightrope walk on the 6-sided cage and then hit the Frankensteiner off of it. You remember that moment?
Badass moment, dude.
Wasn't that one of those Ultimate X matches or something like that?
I think so. I think it was just the 6 sides of steel. I think it was, yeah.
I might have
been an X Division. I don't know if they did that in the cage or not.
I love the Ultimate X matches that they would do in there. The ones I've seen, those things were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It'd be like asking Roman Reigns to take a pay cut to have Bill Goldberg come in.
Yeah, and fuck Bill Goldberg.
Bros, speaking of that, I'm sorry to go off topic from AJ just for 1 second here, but so there was a post up online. So there's a Comic-Con coming up where Bill Goldberg and Bret Hart were scheduled to be in the Comic-Con on the same exact day.
No way.
Yes, 100%. So Bret does a lot of appearances all year long. You'll see him around. He's always doing his stuff. I don't think I never hear him missing anything. He flies overseas and does shows. So Goldberg's going to be doing a rare signing on one of these ones, and Bret's going to be there. Guess who canceled out on his appearance?
Bret.
Yep. He said, due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm not going to be able to make the November Comic-Con, whatever it's called. And ironically, it's the one that Goldberg is there. Coincidence? I don't know.
Not.
Yeah, I don't think so. AJ Styles, Scott Hall passed the torch match. I don't remember that one. Do you, Richie?
I do. That was when Scott Hall was using the Marvelous Me song. Yep.
RVD and the Steiners. Interesting picks right there.
Current favorite wrestler is MJF. All time is a toss-up between RVD and the Steiner brothers. Great picks, dude. Great picks. Yep. Scott Steiner is very underrated for me. Rick Steiner is very underrated. I've been watching WCW as of late when I go to sleep at night, and the Steiner brothers, matter of fact, right now it's right before I'm at the point right before Scott Steiner makes the jump to NWO.
Oh, is he rocking out in the chaps still every time he comes out? Yeah.
Yep. Matter of fact, the Nitro that I watched specifically was when Harlem Heat cost the Steiner brothers the #1 contender match, and then they did it in return for them as well. And the Great Muta and who was the other NWO guy from New Japan? Was it Okada?
No, Yuji Nagata.
Yuji Nagata, thank you.
Yeah, or Masahiro Chono. Masahiro
Chono. It was Chono and the Great Muta, and they beat the fucking Harlem Heat.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's going downhill, right?
Yeah.
RVD, great pick too. I agree, Rick. RVD is awesome for sure. Bret
Yeah.
Hart no-showed the Comic-Con with Goldberg. Yep,
Yep.
he's not doing it. He'd at least let him know he wasn't going to come, Lawrence. There wasn't a reason given. Bret should have showed up and stretched Goldberg out, Dungeon of Stu Hart style. I don't
That
know
would
if
be
he
fucking phenomenal. I think Goldberg's overdue for
could. You
that.
imagine those two getting in the same area with one another? Do you think Bret would lay into him if they did?
I think Bret would verbally lay into him. I think Bret Hart in his prime versus Goldberg in his prime physically. I think Bret Hart whoops his ass.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't think Goldberg looks like a type of guy that's
Bret
just
Hart's a hockey player, and you got to be tough to play hockey, man. So
and you got to be tough to grow up with all those brothers too,
yeah,
and
for
your
sure.
dad that stretches your ass out to teach you about life and not just wrestling but life down in the basement.
Sure.
I think Bret was a pretty tough guy back in his day. As Vince
Yeah.
McMahon, he knocked him the fuck out. Bet
Let's
everyone
see.
showed the Comic
I've
Con
been
with
watching
Goldberg.
WCW 2, Richie. I just watched where Scott Steiner roasted Ric Flair with the fake teeth in his mouth. Yeah. Dude, the NWO buried Rick to the moon. It's no wonder why his fucking confidence was destroyed by WWE return.
You know what I like about Steiner, especially in those days when he finally was coming into his own as his own guy and the big Papa Pump, the big bad booty daddy, his promos
Yeah.
that he would do. He gave zero
He gave
fucks
zero
about.
fucks about
He would say anything,
investors, anything, man. He didn't give
anything.
a fuck if it was Ted Turner. Like,
And you know what? He's still the same way today,
he's
which I
still the
love
same way.
too.
Yeah,
Like
I always loved his shoot interviews on Triple H and Ric Flair and all of them. It was just
yeah,
like he called it like it was, man.
yeah. There's always some good stuff, but
Even to his own detriment, he stood on all his 10 toes.
yeah, absolutely. AJ Styles, let's go back to him for a minute though, because there's so many legendary matches that people could name from this guy that he's been in. Have you ever watched that you can remember an AJ Styles match that was bad?
Yeah, yep. I remember it too. It was one of the John Cena matches that
You
he
thought it was
had where
bad?
it was. Yeah, I thought it was bad. Cena was, and it was mostly because Cena. And then I didn't like the Samoa Joe stuff. And when he was doing now, as far as matches, those are the two matches I didn't like. As far as his gimmicks, you already mentioned it. It was when they tried doing. They made him like a Ric Flair
Yeah,
knockoff with the
awful.
robe and just horrible and didn't fit at all. So yeah, those were the bad seasons of AJ Styles in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember a bad match with him though. That's just me. I don't remember a bad match I've ever seen from AJ Styles. I'm not saying he's never had a stinker, but never one that I've seen at least. Like every match that I've ever seen him in always tears the house down. I liked all of his matches with John Cena. I've seen every one of them. To me, I thought they were really good together for sure.
Yeah. Did you like the Samoa Joe feud that he had
with AJ in WWE?
Yeah.
I don't remember it that much, to be honest with you. It was kind of forgettable to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they had done it so many times in TNA through the years,
Right.
I think it was a different place and a different time, and I don't think it had the same energy from what I can remember. But I don't remember much about it.
I think his stuff with Dominic Mysterio was pretty lackluster.
Just recently, this last year.
Yep.
I don't think they had a direction for him,
Yeah.
and I think that was their way to kind of plug him in a little bit, get Dom some, a real quality win over a former world champ and everything like that. But no, I agree with you. I don't think it was his best work. Oh, did you see Dom got a fucking neck tattoo?
Yeah, that was a little much.
Yeah. I mean, we clown on Cody's one all the time, and I love Dirty Dom. He's the man. But that neck tattoo, I don't know what he was thinking.
Man.
I don't know what he was fucking thinking
Out there living his best life, and he gets a fucking neck tattoo.
Yeah. But TNA, going back to what somebody mentioned earlier about AJ, I mean, imagine this guy who has literally been in the most monumental moments in TNA's history, been in some of the greatest matches, torn the house down, homegrown talent, helped build the damn thing from day one, never jumped ship to bigger promotions, and got put in some really shitty gimmicks, really shitty things they were doing with him. He always bounced back. He's always been one of those guys that's resilient, that even if you stick him with something shitty, like the Claire Lynch thing, he can bounce back quick, and AJ's just that good. But he's led this place for, I think it was like 10 or 12 years, basically.
12 years.
Yeah. And then the guy's contract's coming to an end, asks you just for a fair deal. And I think he asked if he could work some dates overseas still and do something like that. Just asked for a fair deal, didn't ask for anything crazy. And the motherfuckers cut his money and
Mm-hmm.
basically tell him that they don't really need him anymore. And
Yeah.
thanks for your time, but this is what we're offering. And so they give him some slap in the face fucking offer. And I don't blame him for wanting to leave that promotion at that point. I don't.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face when you build the place and then it does you like that. Notoriously, Stone Cold Steve Austin took his ball and went home. Same reason, they didn't want to utilize him in the main event anymore. They wanted him to job to Brock Lesnar on they basically didn't advertise the match at all, threw it together in one night. So, even the Rattlesnake got that treatment and AJ Styles got it from TNA. And I can't imagine being a fly on the wall in the room when Dixie Carter asked him that because, Jesus Christ, he had been there since the doors opened in that place and was the reason a lot of the fans were as diehard as they were. So, yeah, totally disrespectful. And you know what? He went on his way, and it was like when he got to New Japan, he had something to fight. It almost
He had
felt like
something to
when
prove.
He had something to prove, but he was silent when he first showed up. He had the hood over his face and everything. It was almost like a Sting type of character. Like he was just there and he meant business, and it was a totally different AJ.
I like the dark one that he did with the aces and eights thing and everything like that too. I like what he was doing with that. I thought it was really,
Yeah.
really good, and he had a lot to prove when he left there and they kind of slapped him in the face. And I think he worked around for maybe like 2 years, something like that. And then I remember that big Royal Rumble moment when he came in. I think he came in at like number 3 and they had Roman Reigns was in there, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And nobody recognized that music, but when they saw him come out, that place went fucking ape shit for him.
Ape shit, dude.
Ape shit for him. And he's had a great run, but I see what Daniel's talking about here, where through the last few years, to me, I agree with this. They've been using him just as kind of fodder for other people. And
yeah.
I don't remember a lot of great quality wins that he's gotten through the years, and he seems to sporadically disappear. And it looks like he's had some injuries too, and his body's probably shutting down a little bit. But I don't necessarily know that they've had much for him the last couple of years either. Is there anything memorable that he's done the last couple of years after this great 20-plus year career that he had? He hasn't really done much.
I'm going to say he hasn't done much, but the last time that he was prominently showcased was honestly the Undertaker's retirement match where they did the cinematic, which was one of my favorite moments in AJ Styles' career, to be honest with you. I thought that was a really good send-off for the Undertaker, and I doubted it the whole time. I remember talking to you before they did that cinematic match. I didn't know how they were going to pull it off. It was, we were in the quarantines, as Santino Marella would call it, and stuck in that, and I just didn't know how they were going to pull it off, and AJ knocked that shit out of the park. So yeah, one of the greatest matches, and it wasn't even in a ring,
Yeah. Never in a million years would I have thought he was going to be that good in a cinematic style thing. Like
to retire the Undertaker, like they chose AJ to do it. Think about that,
AJ, it shows you how much they value him and trust his work. Do you think a guy like
any guy that hasn't been homegrown in WWE gets buried at some point? They've never buried AJ.
They haven't, but I don't think they pushed him to the level that they could have at certain periods of time.
How many times have you been champ? 4 times?
I think twice. I'm looking.
Twice?
I'll
Okay.
look him up in a second, but I think he's been champ twice at least. So, yeah, that is a crazy thought to think. I completely forgot that the Boneyard was his last match for Taker too.
Yep.
I completely forgot that. So let's see about AJ too. How many title runs did he
How'd
have?
you feel about the Boneyard match, by the way? Did you?
I thought it was
like
good. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I like those cinematic ones. He's had 2 WWE Championship reigns, 3 U.S. Championships, and 1 Intercontinental one. He's also a multi-time world champion, other promotions such as NWA, TNA, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion as well. So I thought he would have been a Grand Slam champion, but I guess he hasn't been.
Nope.
Well, another one that's not for that. But the Boneyard match, yeah, the Boneyard match was very entertaining. AJ's always lacked in one thing to me. It would be his mic skills and his personality. Sometimes he's kind of a little cornball when he gets out there.
He's
He's
that
just
cornbread fed fucking honky.
yeah, he's like, to me, he's just a good country boy,
Yeah.
and he's just a good dude and a good country guy, and
Yep.
he's just not the most entertaining promo in the world, but he can go along and and hold it with anybody. He's just not going to be your guy that's like the Rock or the Jericho or the MJF that's going to get up there and just crush you on the mic every time. So,
Right.
but I think WWE did him pretty fair for most of his run. I mean, that's a lot of gold that he's gotten. A lot of times he's been featured.
Not
I
to
just
mention the money that he took in.
Oh my God. I mean, people have been saying to him for years. People think that he might go to AEW afterwards when he
He ain't
retires
going to
next year.
fucking AEW.
He's
Come
not
on.
going anywhere. He's going to stay. He's going to get a job in the fucking developmental system, and he's going to be one of the guys that's going to be leading
If
NXT.
WWE doesn't do that and put him in charge of like the working side of wrestling, they're
Something.
fucking nuts.
He has said that he wants to stay with the WWE and that he wants to do a training role or work something in developmental. I don't know if he wants to be on the road anymore. I've never seen him say that, but he does want to be a part still of things, and he wants to be a behind the scenes component, at least with the training or working with the kids and showing them things. And he has openly said that that's something he's going to do when he retires. So, which I think is great because they're going to learn from one of the best, workers in the ring.
Sure.
With AJ Styles by working with him. So I can see him in that role and doing really well with it. It's just been crazy to me. That's why I kind of brought up the legacy of him tonight. I know we're not just going to covering just his best matches or his best feuds, but just his legacy as a whole. And that's why we're kind of just jumbling it around and talking about parts of his career, because some people would say he's one of the all-time greats. I'm not going to go that far though. I'm going to say, to me, AJ Styles is a top 15, top 20 all-time great. Top 10, I can't put him in there though. His legacy, is it as phenomenal as his name and the nickname and everything about him? It absolutely is. He had an amazing career. I just don't think he's one of the all-time greats to me. That's just my opinion. Top 15, top 20, top 25, definitely. All-time greats, I can't throw him in that top 10. Can't throw him in that top 5. But he sure had one hell of a ride. What about you?
Yeah, that's a fair take. I would say probably top 20 for me myself. Huge AJ Styles fan. Loved him the whole way. Loved his career. Loved the ride. Loved the stories, the memories, everything. Lived up to his potential. To be a small guy in this game is very hard to succeed, and he did that, man. I mean, to the top level. He was the guy for a little bit. So AJ Styles had a great run. Anybody who would say any less, I don't understand. Like you said, top 10, absolutely not. Top 20, there's a case to be made there for sure. Where he lacked was definitely his promo skills. You're absolutely right on that. I can't really disagree with any of the points that you made, man, on AJ's career.
And it's not to diminish it in any way. That's not it. He's had an amazing.
He was the big fish in the small pond for the most part of his career.
Yeah.
And
what happens to most big fish in a small pond when they go over to the when they go into the ocean? They usually get swallowed up, right?
They get taken
out. And AJ didn't.
He didn't until he started pandering to his friends, the Carl Anderson, the Luke Gallows.
I agree with that. That's a good
That's
point.
what held his career back, was he was trying to relive those days. And it's like, dude, you're a star on your own. You don't need to. They're not.
Yeah.
They never have been.
But that shows you his character, though, as a person, too. What a good guy he is in real life. I mean, he's still married to his high school sweetheart after all these years, which is awesome. He's, for the believers, if you don't believe him, we're not throwing anything at you, but he's a good Christian person. Everybody, you never hear a bad word about him, and nobody ever says AJ's a prick backstage. He's not a team player.
I think the only one he hasn't gotten along with is CM Punk, to be honest with you.
They didn't get along?
No, they have a feud.
Really?
Them.
That's really surprising to me.
Go down that rabbit hole. You'll read about it.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. I did not know that about them.
Yeah.
Because I never hear anything negative about AJ.
They've tried to do a CM Punk AJ Styles program, and AJ won't do it.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out later then. 100%, because I did not know that. You mentioned a great point though with his friends. Listen, no disrespect to Gallows and Anderson. I think they're fucking boring as hell. I think their tag team is boring as hell. I don't get why they were such a big overact in Japan. I never watched it, so I can't comment on it. Just from what I've seen of them in the States, to me, they're a mid-grade tag team. They're a mid-level tag team at
They were
best.
never on the quality of the Dudleys or the
Never.
Hardys or the New Age
No.
Outlaws or any of
No.
those teams ever.
Never. And I know they were big things over in Japan, with the Bullet Club and stuff. I've heard that, but they've never done anything for me. Every run they've ever had in any major promotion outside of New Japan to me has been a complete debacle and sucked for the most part. And I think the only reason they had any credibility in WWE was because of their work with AJ Styles. And I also think, like you said, when you mentioned that, it brought some of his parts of his run down because they just weren't on his level. And
No, they weren't.
they were
They
real
never were.
garbage. Yeah, they were real garbage to kind of pair with him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my opinion, though. Maybe you guys disagree, and I respect your opinion if you do. But it does show the character of an AJ Styles, though, because here's a guy that
he never forgot the people he came up with.
never. Have you ever met AJ?
Yeah, I've met AJ Styles. I
Was he
met
cool?
him at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, very cool guy. Very cool guy.
I could see him as a general manager or something, Rand, for sure. I think
I
with
hope
AJ,
not. I hate those gigs when they do the general manager shit. I think it's so corny.
I like them sometimes if they have the right ones. If they have a good authority figure, I like them. I like when they did it with Shane McMahon, Stephanie, and Daniel Bryan and all that shit. I thought that was kind of fun. Kurt Angle.
And I'll take this back. I was thinking about what we just said with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Carl Anderson actually had an upside to him in New Japan. He actually was entertaining to watch there. His run in WWE when they paired him up with Gallows was garbage though. But Carl Anderson actually did have talent. If you actually watched his early stuff, he was pretty good.
Yeah, Daniel says they were awesome in Japan because they built them as badasses. Yeah, I've never watched it, so I can't comment on it, but I know they were a big act over there for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it was very surprising to people with how they were booked in Japan when they brought them back over the States, how they just didn't get pushed as the same thing that they were over in Japan, which to me would have been the reason why you hired them in the first place, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you can if you want to, but you're an idiot if you do it. If you got somebody that's over and successful for their personality and what they're doing, why are you going to change that? Why don't you just add on to it a little bit? So they bring them over here if they're being billed as badasses over there and they're billing them as jobbers here,
Right.
And that's kind of, to me, how they always had them in all the promotions is
Yep.
start off strong, get that one moment from, give them a quick run with the belt and take it off of them. Can't be billed, and be a mainstream player doing that shit. I heard he loves his video games. I've seen him talk. Doesn't he like carry his video games shit around with him everywhere he goes?
He does, and you know what, Laza? It's funny. I think WWE 2K21 or 22, I can't remember. They featured AJ on the cover, and there was a contest where if you beat this certain mode on the game, then you got entered in for a chance to compete against AJ on the game for $1 million.
Wow!
I can't tell you how many hours I invested on that shit. Like, I was determined, bro. Like, I
get
made
that
it my
million from
calling
AJ.
Yeah, I wanted to do it, but
is he that good of a player?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I've seen like videos where they've done on the documentaries and shit a couple times, where he's been on there, and then they show like he carries his setup around everywhere with him, and he's got
him and Xavier Woods got down all the time.
I mean, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not into video games, so never have been. It's just not my thing. Played them, yeah, but just not into them. So you got to really love something, especially if you're on the road all the time. If you're literally packing up and bringing a whole extra suitcase just full of your video game shit, that's commitment right there.
Yeah, Daniel, I agree with you. DDP, by the way, Hall of Fame human being, one of our favorites on this show, has a great reality series called Change or Die. And I recommend you guys go watch that. It's documenting, but it's on Tubi, actually.
Okay.
So it's documenting Butterbean's journey and a bunch of others that he did, and it was called Change or Die. And he basically told these people, you change the way your lifestyle is, or you're going to die.
Interesting.
It's a really good show. I recommend everybody go watch that.
I'll definitely check. It says on Tubi.
Tubi, yep. Change or Die. There's one season of it. The Butterbean journey alone is worth the watch. So
I've seen like things on YouTube that he's put up with Butterbean and things before to see where he brought him at. Didn't Butterbean just fight somebody too recently?
I know he's campaigning for a match with Jake Paul. I don't know if he got back in the ring yet or not.
He did,
But
I think, just have a fight somewhere recently,
if
and
he did, that's a miracle because you know what? That's what I'm trying to say is you go watch the beginning of this show.
yeah,
Butterbean couldn't fucking walk.
yeah, he was like,
You
wasn't he
know?
all hunched over and stuff too?
Yeah.
Like it was
He was
just
walking with crutches like I don't know if you've seen South Park, but Jimmy, how he
okay.
walks with the crutch, he literally that's what he looked like.
South Park, God, I
Yeah.
love South Park. I don't watch it religiously, but the clips are the best.
Yeah.
DDP just dropped an interview with Ariel Helwani. Haven't got
I'll
a
be
chance to.
listening to that one.
Yeah,
DDP is even transcending wrestling. Like DDP is one of my favorite people on planet Earth to listen to. You know, like I listen to a lot of his inspirational words and stuff like that he does on his TikTok. And man, I could be in just the worst mood at work and turn that shit on, and he's like, "Hey, just let the shit go," you know. And it's like, "Fuck yeah, I love you, DDP." You know.
it's awesome. All
Yeah.
right, let's wrap it up tonight, Richie. Let me get your closing thought here for the night, and I got to go with AJ Styles. Let's go to the topic question of the night. What is his legacy, man, to you? Sum it up, really. What his legacy is to you.
That's a hard one, man. AJ Styles, man. I think I think God, when you think of AJ Styles' career, phenomenal. You know, phenomenal. The close to the second coming of Shawn Michaels. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, very very close second coming of Shawn Michaels. I think that AJ Styles brought legitimacy to smaller wrestlers. He did it before Daniel Bryan did it. I don't care what anybody says. You know, like he was a small guy in the X division, and guys like him didn't make it at the time that he did it. And I'm talking back in like 2003. You know, when he started with the X division and stuff like that. Like he was not meant to make it, and he did. And he didn't. You know, it's like his song says, man, they don't want none. He's a tough bastard, and left everything in the ring, you know, and one of the best in-ring performers, I think, of all time. Um, the thing that handicapped him was bringing his friends for along on the ride. So, do I think he lived up to his full potential in WWE? I don't think so, you know, but solid career, solid run. And yeah, I don't think there's any regrets in his lifetime that he's seeing in his life. So AJ Styles, sum up his career, man, phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It really does, his catchphrase, being the phenomenal one, really does describe truly, the mark that he's made on the business.
Yeah,
And I got to second a lot of your thoughts that you mentioned when we're looking at the legacy of him. To me, he goes down as one of the most entertaining people to watch inside the ring, hands down. One of the great talents, not the greatest, but one of the great talents of all time. A guy that was a stand-up guy from what it seems for everywhere he's ever been. He's been a good company man. He's been a good representative. He's been a good representative of his family, and being a good human being for everything we've heard about him through the years and how he acts. He's a guy that I think loves his family tremendously and has probably sacrificed a lot for not only his dream, but, for his family. And when I look at wrestling, there's certain times people do a job just because it's their job and it's how they make money, right? It's what they do. They don't have a career, something they love, but they got something they do because they do well at it. And they're cool with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's people that just love what they do, and that's the most important thing to them. And when I look at AJ Styles and his legacy, I think he's the type of guy that loved being a wrestler,
yep,
loved being in the ring, loved entertaining the fans,
yep,
loved performing. He loved it. He was passionate about it. It was something
yep.
that he cared about. And it wasn't just a job to him. It was part of his
His
life.
life.
Yeah. And it was part of his identity.
And
And
I don't think that identity of AJ Styles is too far from the actual person.
I don't either. I also think he's the type of guy with as much as he's loved it, where he's like what we were saying earlier, where he'd be great in a role of helping people and teaching them and doing all that shit. But I also
and
think
show
he's
them that you don't have to do the steroids, you don't have to do the
yeah,
drugs, you don't have to, you don't have to compromise your family or your marriage or any of that. Like you can be all those things as a star and all that stuff and still do the right things in life.
yeah.
So
I
I
I
guess that's
also
his legacy. He's one of the first wrestlers to do it the clean way, you
yeah.
know?
I also think he's going to be the type of guy when he eventually walks away from wrestling as a whole, not just from performing, but maybe training if he gets into it. I think he's going to be the type of guy that, as much as he loved it and it was part of a huge part of his life, I think when he finally ends up wanting to not work anymore and probably do this anymore, he's going to be the type of guy that will flip the switch off of wrestling and never do it again, never
He's
listen
not
to
going
it.
to be one of the ones. I don't care how much money
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia throws at him, which I
yeah,
don't think that Saudi Arabia would be paying, Shawn Michaels money to come out of retirement for AJ Styles. Let's not
yeah.
get me wrong here, but I think AJ when he hangs it up, that's
He
it.
hangs it up. Yeah, and when he
He's going to be
stops
the one
one
that stays true.
and when he stops one to coach and be a part of it one day and move on, I don't think he's going to want to do anything with wrestling or even watch it anymore. I think he's the type of
Nope.
guy that had his love for all those years and will be the type of guy to one day contently walk away from it all and go off and live his own life and do his own thing and go
Yeah.
play his video games and hang out with his grandkids and his
I
family
bet you one
probably.
of his sons does it though.
Oh, probably, yeah. Maybe that's the way they get him back, back in there one day to bring dad out. Maybe he does, I don't know. But his
Mhm.
legacy in wrestling is sure going to be a damn good one, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, man, one of the only wrestlers from that generation, and you can consider him in that generation technically because he's been around that long. To do it clean, to be a family man the whole time, and not compromise who he was as a person. You know.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to take it out tonight. Great show today.
Yeah, man. Your audio's a little jacked up from the song playing, but I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, watching the show. Again, it's our favorite time of the week. We want to get more interactive, so maybe next week we'll have a couple of you guys on with us to talk some wrestling and stuff like that. So 2026, you guys, it's going to be our year. We're going to be pushing the throttle down, more content, a couple more shows, maybe some MMA that we're dipping our toes into, stuff like that. And then we're going to transition over to the TikTok side of things. My request to you guys is if you're watching on Facebook, like we said at the beginning of the show, we're trying to monetize our channel over at YouTube, and we're getting really close. If you're watching on Facebook, if you can't, and Facebook's the only way that you can utilize and watch the show, we appreciate it. That's great. It's still supporting us. Go over there to YouTube, make an account, subscribe, like, follow, and watch the show from there. You can always comment, just like Rewind does. He watches it from YouTube. A couple other guys did it as well. Ricky, we appreciate you. Laza, we appreciate you always showing up. Rand, all you guys. We love you guys, man. So keep showing up, and we'll see you down the road.
Yeah, and if you're on TikTok, WWR Podcast 1 over on TikTok. Check us out. I've tried to put up a few things a week over there, and we got to get it to 1,000 followers, and then we can start going live. So we're hoping to build that up in a quick period of time. So if you're on TikTok, check us out over there. Well, guys, we're going to be back next week. Same time, same place. For Richie, I'm John. We're out of here. Go be phenomenal the rest of the week, everybody. Thanks for listening, watching Wrestling with Reality.